How may we best synchronize with and serve the planet at this moment in its evolution? I am Oorkas. I am with this instrument once more. Greetings, my brothers and sisters. It has not been a long while, and yet we feel that you have prepared yourselves, all of you, for a new era of contact with a fourth density complex that is eager to share its harvest of experience just beyond the threshold that you stand before. We are so pleased to serve in this manner and consider you all very, very close to our vibration, for you have arrayed yourselves in this circle in a manner that reflects our positionality, our character of participation with each other. And we are all parts of a bigger complex, the biggest being that of our infinite radiant one, the creator of us all. We would like to stay focused this afternoon on the topic you have chosen. And we do admit that we have exercised a say in your query, for this is a new kind of relationship between your kind on Earth and our kind of a distant planet that we call Oorkas. It is one where together we can begin to narrow down upon those features of harvest and the incidents that lead up to harvest, and perhaps those that directly follow, if that is relevant in the moment we are speaking. This means that we are going a bit farther than most of our brother and sister complexes of this confederation. We have been tasked with this, you see. We are bridging between the sanctity you have achieved here and the sanctity of the deep space the rest of us occupy. As such, let us caution you to exercise extreme caution in your intention setting and your reception of our message. We wish to acknowledge that this will, while not constituting transient information necessarily, give details that are, we correct this instrument, provide details that are necessarily to, we correct this instrument once more, provide details it is necessary for you to vet. We ask this instrument to slow down and take a moment to recenter. We are those of Oorkas. this instrument has calmed down a bit, for he recognizes a difference in this contact and knows that the topic is mutually arrived at, and therefore it colors a bit outside the lines of the coloring book he is used to working with. We ask him to simply pause if a concern arises. We ask you all, his friends, to keep your calm and steady, and this will help smooth over any rough spots in this contact, for he is not as practiced of late as he would like. So, we ask you to carefully consider what we say and to chuck it if it does not align with what you are seeking. Now, this does require each of you to have a clearer concept of the object of your search than many on your planet notice and acknowledge in themselves. You each here do work to achieve this, and we wish to augment that work, congratulate you for the foundational process you have initiated, and to therefore appeal to you for your profound and careful discernment. My brothers and sisters, it is discernment that provides the epistemic basis for this message. For we cannot guarantee that the transmission will always be tight and confined to that which our mutual seeking attracts. If you would help us bring the information to your planet, then we can speak freely, not troubling ourselves with doubts about diverting you with an errant concept or a idea that, though we mean well by it, is confusing and frustrating to you. Please exercise your highest discrimination towards each and every word we speak through this instrument. Thank you. You are part of this message, and the responsibility you take for your part is a small step towards your constituency in the social memory complex. The topic for this afternoon centers on the single object that unites all of your peoples at this moment, be they discarnate or incarnate, wanderer or native, or from a planet that did not allow them to complete their third density education, shall we say. This planet is the center of all that we can say Earth is. It is the common ground, no pun intended, of all. This does not mean that, therefore, this relating one to another that will blossom into social memory is well understood by you or us, for this matter. Indeed, we continue to discover new vectors of energy sharing that open up our full hearts and minds to each other. For we walk forward on the evolutionary path as you do. It is the exact same direction, my friends. It is simply that we are walking down a hill that you are still ascending the crest of. And therefore, it is our pleasure to offer some guidance and suggestions that may help you with your mission you have articulated, namely the harmonization with the planet, with this centering that all are drawn towards, willingly or unwillingly, and the service that may be done that will cement and bless this camaraderie. As we circle your planet, for we now too are in its influence. We feel the sorrow deep. My brothers and sisters, if you wish to be in harmony with your Mother Earth, you must first acknowledge her labor pains and not simply put them out of your mind. Our complex understands why you would wish to do this, for it is overwhelming. The cries across the planet of pain, of confusion, of despair, of misunderstanding, both from those who take the active, aggressive nature of misunderstanding and those who are the recipients of its overflow into anger and violence, of pollution and degradation. All of these are one. We must remind you. The distinctions you draw are to understand how these energies precipitate into your third density, and especially your orange and yellow ray illusion. And this as well, for you must have some way of approaching this condition. But it is an illusion, a deception, in fact, to think only in terms of who is giving and who is getting. It is one. You do not think of your pancreas as simply ruling over your body, do you? It is a conjunction of concerns that all serve your center, your heart, the gravitational point towards which your coherence obtains and is drawn towards. So when you think of how to serve through the synchronous seeking with the planetary complex, you must first find a way to think about what is difficult without losing your desire to help in spite of the drop in the bucket, so to speak, your help constitutes. You must learn, my brothers and sisters, how to give in complete lack of certainty of outcome, to kick your expectations out of your heart. They are there to create an illusion in which you can focus on some things and take others for granted. One of the skills you must learn to become a citizen of the planet, a true co-creator along with your complex, is to take into your heart all that lies before your gaze and not lose yourself. For this is crucial to being able to forgive each other enough to not lose what you have in common. You may indeed think that some on this planet do not seek what you seek, that they are impediments to our forward evolution. We can think of many public figures who would fit this bill for any number of your fellow men and women. However, you are deceiving yourselves when you think this way. And this deception is useful for the purposes of discovering your polarized choice. Quite useful. However, you here have chosen, and many on your planet have chosen. And so, it is time to leave childish things behind, to let go of the animosity that you have been thoroughly processed by. We say processed because it has had an effect that is salutary. But processes end. You have been conditioned to be an agent of the complex as a coherent, singular unit. Now it is time to find the bonds with the other units. And this will require you to have a new attitude towards those things that pain you. This will be difficult, for it was difficult for us. We of planet Oorkas did not have such a rough and discombobulating path toward social memory. but it was still difficult. And because our planet is not quite as lush and full of life, we correct this instrument, full of life forms and diversity as your planet, we had to find ways in which we communed more with the first density elements. For the second density life forms were less populated. And in our experience, we pause to recenter. We continue. We are Oorkas. We found that the paucity of resources on our planet demanded more cooperation with the efficient use and sharing. In this way, we have been on the same trajectory as our brother Hatan, while they experienced more bellicosity on their path. We experienced more need to stabilize how we related to the planet. And this was a gift in disguise. For we realized the planet has much to offer once the decision has been made that it is our shared heritage and it actually answers many of the gnawing questions that the veiled third density experience brings about. We wish in our service towards third density applicants to Confederation membership to teach this, for it appears to have been a unique experience. Not every people on a planet learn how truly unified they are with their environs on this level. And indeed, there is a connection with many of your indigenous peoples. For we did not have a 100% graduation towards service to others any more than we expect you to. And the members of our complex who needed more education, so to speak, have influenced some of your peoples. So we feel a great common bond with this planet. And we feel that you teach us much of what we never experienced. It is a darker lesson, but it teaches us about our Creator. So when you decide that you belong to your Mother Earth, and that you cannot out of comfort and convenience, eschew those aspects that make one feel unhuman. Those civilizational dimensions of your selfhood that have for many, many millennia convinced you and your siblings that this planet is but the stage you play on. But it is part of the play. Then you must gird your loins and go into the fray with open hearts and demonstrate the depth of connection that truly exists. How may you demonstrate this? For this is the means towards synchronization and the very nature of service in the manner of offering, as opposed to the manner of receiving. The Master Jesus did say it was more blessed to give than receive. And in this sense, we concur, because the giving is what is needed right now. There will be much time afforded for the more passive lessons of receiving, of letting the new vibrations sink in and calm down these social conflagrations that burden you at this time. Well, first, we offer that the daily meditation is, we correct this instrument, continues to give one the best guidance. It is better guidance than we give. It is better guidance than any of our Confederation siblings give. For it allows you to connect to your center. And you cannot connect to the planetary center absent that connection within your center. Remember, this is an infinite creation. It is a unity, consequently. And it is true that when it fractures into separation, each piece has itself a center. And so you occupy an illusion that is, in a sense, a vast graph of nodes all connected to each other. It is not as bleak as it seems for this reason. The connections are already there, my brothers and sisters. It is within yourself that you begin to realize this. And with that resonance, you identify the centers without yourself, not simply other humans like you. The centers of second density creatures and life forms, the centers of first density entities beginning to awaken to the mind-body cycle. These are all at your fingertips so that you may connect, so that the energy that is flowing through you can have an outlet and thereby show you the graph, the great map of centers that belie the unity behind the deception, the infinity that is actually approachable when you are vibrating at this level. You need not despair that your concept of this infinity will be abstract and imagined. No. Remember, third density veiled consciousness is unique. It is not the totality of your experience. And the more you connect within, the more you will remember in those deep, non-intellectual manners that the intuitive side of your mind will confer. As you connect with these other centers, carefully and slowly, not demanding prefabricated outcomes. Instead, waiting, being patient, waiting for the most delicate and tender of greetings. You will find that our brother Max has spoken well when he suggested synchronization. For you will find that there is a rhythm, a cadence to these connections. They will not speed you up. No, they will slow you down. And you will feel that you will want to surrender, to become a vessel for this powerful but slower waveform. You will find that your ego, so to speak, your yellow ray self, is but a tiny tip of a vast iceberg. And you will find that it will balk a bit at the surrender that is needed in order for this powerful but wider band waveform to harmonize with that which you consider yourself to be. You must learn to take the meditative mindset into the illusion, my brothers and sisters. For you will find, we predict, that meditation is actually quite different in its character, in the character that is important and that makes it fulfilling, than the outward behavior that you practice solo and as a group. What makes meditation fulfilling and rewarding will begin to be rewarding and fulfilling in the outer experience when you are able to let yourself follow the tuning of your environs. It will not come through action, but it will be expressed through one or two acts over an indeterminate period of time. Those who have achieved this level of awareness that is in sync with planet Earth find true peace, and yet they are busy to the outward eye. How can this be? Well, they are finding that they are instruments, that while they maintain their unique and irreplaceable personalities, it is not so necessary any longer to foist that identity upon others. As they balance, clear their energy centers of their dissonant, unprocessed lessons, they find that they are Earth, and that Earth is them. And therefore, they become more fully who they individually are by trying less hard. We were there too, and we appreciate this instrument allowing this quip. In late third density, y'all are a bunch of tryhards. It's not necessary to struggle so much. In order to serve. It is a struggle to learn to get there. And therefore, we do not mean to denigrate you. Indeed, this instrument has experienced, even in the past hours, that haughty, egoic, feeling of who's right and who's wrong. The one-upsmanship of the debate culture. The dreaded discourse that we entertain ourselves with and pretend we are accomplishing good work through. This is perfectly fine, for you must be where you are. And so what we offer as your brothers and sisters of Oorkas, as well as your brothers and sisters of a vast confederation spreading the cosmic awareness slowly and carefully across the universe, is simply inspiration. This is why you must use your discernment, for you cannot be inspired by something that is false. You will not be attracted to something that is not yours. And so we are content to wait patiently for you to make the discovery that, yes, indeed, it is yours. We know this already. And we know that words placed in this instrument's mind are unconvincing, unpersuasive. But just as we caution you against the persuasive mindset towards each other, so do we obviate the place of persuasion in our intercourse with you. Now, as your evolution continues apace, alongside your planet, you shall discover, to your great surprise, that the windows in the veil between the conscious and unconscious minds will grow. And at first, this will feed your personality. And you will tamp down the horror of being so much more than you know you are by ascribing this evolution to your accomplishments as a conscious self. Much as a child will take credit for all of the things that the parents do, not realizing the undergirding of the family. Taking for granted hours, days, years of patient stewardship and parenting that go unnoticed and unappreciated. This is not a creation in which credit is important. You must realize this. In fact, it gives you a nice tool for identifying when you are overcompensating with your personality and your yellow ray approach. For when you feel the credit is not justly distributed, you know what mode you're operating in. And you can, with time, learn to take a step back from that. All of these flaws of personality become signposts that help you tune instead of ways that you play out of tune with the orchestra. You simply change the tuning, and voila. There is no need for judgment, for punishment. When you get 5 from adding 2 plus 2, great. Now you have something to work on. And as you grow into your co-creatorship, you will start to see that these flaws and bumps into the wall are truly your best teachers. Now, this has a planetary connotation as well. For you bump into the wall as people. We correct this instrument. As a people as well. the despair you feel at the careening, out of control vehicle that is your nation state is a sign. It is a flashing warning sign, but not of the end. It is simply a sign that you must go deeper, you must slow down, and you must work on the shadow side of yourself. And it will seem as if you are self-indulgent and ignoring the true peril. And you will be harshly scolded by those who have not aligned with the vibration that is incoming as you continue to cross into the fourth density sector of space. Forgive them, for they know not what they do. And you know there is only one place they will end up. Back in your arms as you cradle each other in the Creator's arms. And this skill of learning to have this faith, of learning to invoke it, will slowly but steadily provide a comfort. Not a comfort for your personality. You will learn to find comfort in a greater self. This is the draw towards social memory. This change in the center you're orbiting. Instead of orbiting around your entertainment, your careers, even your families. You will learn that you serve all of those better when you recognize your true gravitational center. And this is not one discovery. It continues over and over and over again. And this will be the character of fourth density for you. Until you reach that point where you are a master of the energies and the emotions that make you such an important agent and constituent of the Creator. As a final note, we wish to acknowledge the concepts this instrument has with our help, as well as the help of other complexes with which we associate. That there is something about how relating to the planet, relating to the collective unconscious that the planet represents, helps you relate to your own unconscious, and vice versa. As you learn to work through the veil and participate in your greater selfhood, you learn what it means to be part of a social memory complex and to have the full resources of the planet at your disposal without being at your personal command. We would not delve too deeply into this, for we feel the monologue has gone on long enough. But we encourage you, if you find this concept intriguing, to ask about it now or at a future time. For we feel that there are several questions in the air orbiting around this center we share. we would simply say that the key to appreciating a connection with the subconscious at the collective or individual level is an appreciation for expenditures of energy that have a certain purity to them. They will first register themselves within your life experiences. When you are able to confidently and consistently identify these expenditures, then, my brothers and sisters, then you will see that what you have unveiled within yourself is not simply the code for your own true nature, but indeed the code for the planet's nature, for your unity with the planet. And one more thing before we open to questions. When we say planet, it is clear this instrument has in mind a physical body, a sphere of rock and vegetation and water. And that is true. This is the planet. But please do not limit your connection to Mother Earth to just these elements. My brothers and sisters, you are embarking upon a wondrous and mysterious journey to the center of the Creator. And you are taking one more step on that path as you learn to unify and synchronize and serve. The local part of the Creator that is Earth. This planet and its experiences throughout the 3 cycles of third density it has enjoyed will be a great gift to us in the Confederation and to the Logos, whose character and will we continue to strive towards. Let it be a joyous and celebratory step forward. As you mourn that which is to be released, let your hearts rejoice at that which you are making room for. I am Oorkas. I am grateful that you have had patience with this instrument and with our planet's message. For it has not arrived without distortion. We must confess. Look to the center of the message, not the words. Connect with the center of yourselves and then connect with the message. And you will be able to separate the wheat from the chaff and take the true hope that we convey as we convey it and as we mean it. And this is, again, a skill you are learning with great advantage to all who cross your paths. Now, are there any questions we might entertain We are those of Oorkas.
Okay, I'll ask a question. Say 10 citizens of the world come and stand in front of me. There is always going to be people that I want to be friends with and people that I feel I don't want to be friends with, or maybe even repulsed or disgusted by. How can I make sure to treat everyone equally with respect, even if I don't need to equally aid each one? Will this get easier with the veil thinning, or that's my question.
Yes, my brother. We are Oorkas and are aware of the question in your heart. In truth, it is a question each here asks him or herself. For to be in service, in true service, is so daunting in your current condition of social menagerie. Recall our point about connecting with your own center, with being able to work with the unconscious. There is an element that we neglected to mention, and we appreciate you bringing it up. For it is one of those elements that is seemingly tougher for you than it was for us. Your shadow side, your shadow self, those parts of yourself that repulse you, that embarrass you, that you would not dare to acknowledge to yourself, let alone another. Accept those. As you pull back the veil, my brother, there will be much to accept, to work with and digest and chew on. Many hard barriers around your heart to dissolve. When you do this, feel into the process, my brother. This feeling will help you recognize the vibration of doing this work with your other selves. We mean this quite literally, you see. Learning how to recognize these basic energy signatures is what we were getting at earlier. For they call to the archetypal mind, you see. And the more that you can purely feel them, the more you can work with them as a kind of alphabet by which you write the new constitution for your planet. We speak in metaphor, of course. But it is only to wake yourself up to your own full character that others challenge and annoy you so. This is what makes third density so valuable, that it makes the distortions that need balance addressable and identifiable. For in the time-space experience, and in the more fluid experiences of space-time in other densities, it just isn't so workable. One flows in and out of rejection and acceptance with no pause. And the reflection that allows one to appreciate them is much lessened because one is fully expanding into the panoply of identities, the spectra of ways of selfhood. Perhaps this explains why you placed so many seemingly insurmountable challenges before yourself pre-incarnatively, my brother. They did not seem like such solid things to begin with when you were in the time-space mindset, the time-space consciousness that is the other side of the coin of your full selfhood. And as such, consider that the gnarly connections that obtain with certain people make them that much more precious to you. You will agree with us when you are on our side of the line, we assure you. Finally, we would refer you to the words of our brothers and sisters of planet Monka, because they made a very good point to this instrument at a time when he was wrestling with similar resentments and repulsions. Social memory is not about friendship. It's not about a personal relationship that validates who you think you are, who you want to be. It reveals all of you to you. And this is that which is acceptable as well as that which is less than acceptable. This is why it is an evolutionary process and not simply one of stopping into the bar to say hi to Norm and the crew if you get our joke. It's work. And the more that you commit yourself to a life that is about development, the more you will see that it is not only your development that you toil and strive for. Have we satisfactorily addressed your concerns, my brother?
Yes, thank you.
We are those of Oorkas, and we thank you, my brother. This was an important element and part of the distortion in the original message was the omission of your contribution. So we are extremely grateful, as is this stumbling and imperfect instrument. May we address ourselves to another concern in this circle.
Oorkas, I have a concern. Our Mother Earth is able to take negative energy and transform it into something else. And it seems like there's been a buildup of negative energy. Is there any concern or danger of Mother Earth taking on too much negative energy at this present time?
No, my brother. We are those of Oorkas. we do not feel that this is a overarching concern that would worry us were we in your position, which is how we think you mean to express your query. And if we are mistaken, please follow up. Let us provide a short explanation of our sanguine attitude. There are ways the earth expresses its dissonant energies it has absorbed. Earth changes are one. We do not make any prediction. We simply point you to the fact that there are pressure release valves, shall we say. Much as the subconscious will let out those things you mash down inside of yourself, so too will the earth let out a inconvenient wave of tangled energy. Now, this inconvenience is something that, if you are vibrating at the level of consensus reality, will seem like disaster. And we do not quibble with your concern for those you love and their physical presence in life. We understand. But as you do work on yourself to balance and accept those things that you have not fully worked out, for they do not have the sinister nature that often is assumed, you will learn how yourself to help express in helpful and constructive ways the balancing of the planetary negative energies. Indeed, what you are witnessing in the political, cultural, social dimensions of your social memory complex are, in ways that may not seem to you to be helpful, very, very helpful for exactly this reason. The more you deal with and face the darkness consciously, and in the collective context, the more you deal with the political upheavals, the social nastiness, and the cultural hollowing out, and face the shallowness of the third density experience when it is solely material and egoic, the less the planet has to sublimate it, you see. So thank your political rivals. Shake the hand of those who prowl and prey on the weak. Learn to love the decline of your civilization, for it is showing you what was always there, and in ways that the earth previously had to balance in cataclysmic manners. you will be able to get ahead of as a planet. We do not promise that Earth changes are out of the question, but we do not predict them either. We are not party, nor are we the spokesperson of your planetary unconsciousness. And this is the limit of what we can say. For it is your project, your discovery, your work to do. Does this answer the question in your heart, my brother?
It does. Thank you, Oorkas. I appreciate your reassurances.
We appreciate you. We are Oorkas, and we understand it is a scary time. That fear is a friend. You will learn the hard way or the easy way how to take this friend into your arms. And we are here with you, witnessing this great work. And when you put your head in your hands in despair, there is an aspect of us and of your planet which is singing in praise. For you are finally facing your true calling. And you have to hit bottom first to arise. We are those of Oorkas. We are being informed by this instrument that it is high time that we part ways with you. And we hope that you have enjoyed this session a fraction as much as we have. Thank you for diligently coming together and opening up in love and honesty to each other. Take this energy to those not in this circle. Take that love. Take that hope. Show them that vision through your actions, through your forgiveness, through your willingness to sacrifice. You are so close to us. We are almost touching your fingers over the fence. A little farther, my brothers and sisters. A little farther. We are Oorkas, and we take our leave of this circle in love and in light of the one infinite creator. Adonai Vazu Paragus.